It is indeed Super Meat Boy. I have got to wait for the Force Unleashed to bloody well install. It is taking its sweet, sweet time. So I am just throwing on miscellaneous games. Because I can! There we go. Adjust the screen a little bit. Heck with it. Might as well play a game where I'm going to have a good experience. So, for those tuning in, Knights of the Old Republic was a complete disaster. I should have probably tested with Knights of the Old Republic directly to ensure that it worked okay. But to be honest, I didn't expect it was going to be that problematic trying to get that game to work. I mean, on one hand, yes, it's an old game. On the other hand, I've done streaming with old games before. I guess it doesn't help that it is a port of an Xbox game. Nah, Meat Boy is a Bendu. He's in the middle. Only Professor Fetus is a Sith Lord. The old meat. Before the dark time. Before the Fetus Empire. I wonder how Dr. Fetus would take to being called Emperor Fetus. Five people watching now. Ooh. For everybody jumping in the stream, hello, I'm Mike. This was going to be a Knights of the Old Republic stream, but to say the least, it did not work. It was a bigger disaster than I could have ever anticipated. As if millions of voices cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. Boys of the old meat. Yeah. Yeah, Adam, that might be, that one might be a little bit much to swallow. Little bit rusty with this game, but I used to be pretty well practiced at it. Who lives in a place like this? Like, who seriously lives... I suppose for some people this is just called Canada? Ow. I always forget how this level goes. This reversed Dark World level. That's how it is. You gotta kind of play Daredevil with it. Woo! Do. And now the download for The Force Unleashed is showing as queued. Yeah, that's another thing. I've got limited hard drive space, so I didn't exactly have my backup well prepared. Alright, now that I've warmed up, let's get into the meat of it. Haha! Meat. I wonder, like, if some of the other RPGs I've got would do okay. I wonder if Final Fantasy VII would do okay, or Final Fantasy IX, something like that. Like, something where we could actually hold, like, a real discussion instead of an action game like this. My friend Matt gets a lot of Canada jokes. Yeah, Final Fantasy IX would be cool. You know what else would be cool? A Star Wars game that works. Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to, like, a Final Fantasy-styled Star Wars game, or a, like, Diablo-style Star Wars game, or something like that. In some ways, the Old Republic, the MMO, is kind of like a Diablo-style Star Wars game. That probably records better than this. Like, that's the thing, right? It's such a rich IP that you can adapt it in practically any number of ways. I feel like this is too simple, this level. Oh, pfft. You die leaving the screen. No, I did not get the bandage, because I don't feel like getting the bandage. Right now, I'm busy being butthurt over the fact that Knights of the Old Republic didn't work. Could care less about the bandage. I never figured out what these horrible amoeba things are. Are they ghosts? Like, what are these? Are they just giant amoebas? Like, what kind of bacterial infection would you have to get in order to start producing these? There, I got your bandage. You happy now? Now I gotta get it again. What's in this blood? Like, why does this blood kill you? It must be filled with razors or something, right? You know, that's appropriate, because Binding of Isaac is made by these guys. Same developer. So, I have to ask a question. You've been following me for a while. Do I pronounce your name Jean or Jean? Jean, that's what I thought. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Thank you for following me for as long as you have, and thanks for sticking around through the disaster of a stream. I should have just asked on forum. You know, Adam, that goes right up there with my Taco Bell question. How do I get Taco Bell to fill my chalupa entirely with beef? You like this better? Yeah, this game is a little bit more interesting, to be honest. Well, I shouldn't say that. Knights of the Old Republic was really, really good for its time, but I was kind of going into that blind. Like, I'd forgotten how awkward the tutorial matter is. I'd forgotten how awkward the user interface was. I didn't expect it to crap out on the stream like it did. And I'm probably going to be harping on that all day, because it's got me so mad. You know, that really looks like you can go inside of that. Oh! Cooked. Woo! I could go for a level with Meat Boy, like, going down the tunnel of the Death Star's laser. Yeah, speaking personally, I always enjoyed this type of game a lot more than something like Knights of the Old Republic. I tend to prefer a game that has a very strong sense of kinesthetics, where you really, like, feel the feedback from all of your actions. Knights of the Old Republic, and it kind of nailed itself home when I was trying to play through that tutorial. BioWare games in general tend to have a disconnect where you are interacting with a menu and just kind of watching what's happening on screen. And they sort of started to move away from that when they... Oh, this is going to be a long day. Gonna be a long day, Meat Boy. They started to move away from that when they started working on the Mass Effect series, and a little bit with, like, Dragon Age. But dating all the way back to Baldur's Gate, I always found it a little bit too distant and not quite enough raw pop. You know what I mean? Something where you can, like, really sink your teeth into the action. Something where you, like, feel every action you put on the controller. I mean, if Knights of the Old Republic played like that, it would be a really different type of game. But even comparing it to something like Final Fantasy, like, it really takes the time to show you the impact of attacks. I never felt any problems with the feedback in Final Fantasy, at least not in, like, 7, 8, or 9, or even 10. Like, especially not 10. 10 has really great feedback. For those playing the home game, feedback is where the game gives you some kind of a visual affordance in order to let you know that an action took place. Like, Knights of the Old Republic, I could always kind of get lost watching it, where someone's doing an attack cycle with some swords, and a couple of numbers are popping up, and the animation is not registering any, like, real hits. It's just kind of auto-computing in the background and showing you an animation, and oh man, I hate this level. Okay. Even the cutscene shows up okay. If you didn't think this was made by the Binding of Isaac team before, you're gonna know it now. Yeah, pretty much, right? I gotta not rush this guy. I gotta not get cocky and rush. The thing is, when you get to this level, you're so used to paying attention mostly to where you're going. And Chad kind of introduces another factor where you have to keep track of where he's moving. And the thing is, you're not really under any rush until you pick up a key. Only after that... Oh, crap. Crap! Crap! Oh! Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Oh! 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 Okay, we're good. We're good, people. We're good. Force Unleashed, are you loading? This might just turn into a Super Meat Boy stream. Are you gonna jump up? You son of a bitch! Ah! Nope, 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 nope! Okay. I love how this game makes me hate my life. Don't come over here. Good. Uh-oh. Up. Okay. Oh! Oh. This is gonna be one of those days, Meat Boy. But yeah, it's all getting back to the topic at hand in the chat. Everything that happens in Knights of the Old Republic, yes, is very abstract. It's combat that you can kind of reduce down to like a DOS command prompt. And to be fair, there's a lot of stuff that actually is no more complex than I keep making the same mistakes. There is a lot of gameplay in the world that can be reduced to something as simple as a DOS prompt. And that's one of the connections that a lot of new gameplay programmers or new game designers don't necessarily make or have a hard time believing. Not this time, Chad. Not this time. Like, something that you eventually come to realize is that... Oh, shoot! No! Something that you eventually come to realize is that the act of programming is a much shallower body of knowledge than you think it is. Like, the basics of just programming in C++ or C#. Once you get to a certain point where you have fluency in how to structure functions and classes and, you know, what all the common functions are, you know, there's a step beyond that where you gotta learn the C standard library and get to know what libraries and functions and things exist for you that you don't have to reinvent. And that's definitely much more challenging, but programming is basically always programming. Okay, good. Now you do the other key. Finally! Yeah, that's right, Adam. It's not just BioWare. Like, all sorts of old-school games are basically skins on top of a command prompt. Like, if you go back to the Ultima games... Oh, Jesus, what raw hell is this? This cutscene. Oh, that's dark. That's dark. Okay, sorry. That's very true, Adam. As I was saying before I got distracted with the absolute terror that was on screen with little Chad. Yes, the Ultima series, for a lot of its time, was essentially a system built on a text parser, where the actions you could perform and the map you were exploring were very disconnected systems. And it's relatively recently that you start to see, like, true action RPGs where somebody built an action simulation with RPG advancement elements attached to it. Speaking of which... Is this functional now? Is the Force Unleashed functional? Does it, like, stop all downloads while I'm... Okay, there we go. Message retracted. What the hell did you say to me, Adam? I must know. Yeah, so I was struggling with that while trying to beat off the tutorial with a stick. Like, compared to that, the elegance of Super Meat Boy is a breath of fresh air, even if it is air that is filled with salt. Like, I am living in a world made entirely of salt here. Ah, I see. I didn't know you could delete messages. Now the cruel fate of having to go against the conveyor belt. And still survive the salt. You know, I can't help but feel like the freak deer from Adventure Time would be really, really at home with this. Like a horrible demon deer has to get salt lick from somewhere, and this would have to be the place. Do-do-do. Oh yeah, the tank controls too, because they didn't quite refine the Xbox-style dual analog yet at the time. Oh, it gets better. Knights of the Old Republic was made on the assumption that you were playing with the fat controller. You didn't have an L and R button. You had the black and white button. Oh yes. Maybe I could do Darkest Dungeon, actually. That wouldn't be too bad, either. Okay. Don't mess up the jumps this time and go in the salt. Good. The Duke had triggers. The Duke did have triggers. I don't remember what the Duke did with triggers in Knights of the Old Republic, though. As far as I can tell, it is incompatible with my Xbox 360 controller. Which is an amazing oversight for a Steam re-release. I mean, to be fair, the PC release of Knights of the Old Republic... Oh, hey there, Whitney! To be fair, the PC release of Knights of the Old Republic predates the... And yes, I am perfectly aware of the absurdity of talking about Knights of the Old Republic while not playing it, but that's essentially the fate that the game has left us. Anyway, the PC release predates its Steam release, so I can't be too hard on it, but man, I kind of wish it had gotten updated. I can see why so many people are rooting for that remake. Oh my gosh, I'm so rusty at this. Maybe I shouldn't talk about rust while I'm playing Super Meat Boy. It's already frightening enough that this game could give me tetanus. Oh, there we go. That's what I needed. I needed to not hit the jump button. Woo! Man, I was really looking forward to that, too. Like, I was looking forward to having people complain that I didn't know where I was going, and, you know, kind of helping me solve the adventure and stuff. But, alas. Oh, the bullets. Oh my gosh. This is what every home security system needs. I know they do, but the problem is that they didn't design the controls with those buttons as bumpers in mind. Right? It's like playing Dark Souls on mouse and keyboard. It doesn't quite work. And watch, someone's gonna chime in and say, I play Dark Souls on mouse and keyboard all the time! You noob! Get good or go home! Or not, because I only have 6 people watching. So, The Force Unleashed is installing, because I apparently didn't have it installed, and updating. Oh! Come on! People place Dark Souls on guitars. Come on! Come on, dude! I know you can play Dark Souls on a Dance Dance Revolution pad, but why would you? Oh, that would have been perfect if I could have blown the thing up. Ah! 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 That crap is really stressful. I can't say enough good things about the level design in this game. Like, they do just such a good job of introducing concepts and kind of keeping the game focused on them. So, like, eventually this works its way up to buzzsaws, bullets, and everything else that this world has to throw at you. Cannibal? Yeah, Cannibal does look a lot like this game. At least it looks a lot like Salt World. Probably a little bit like The End, too. Like, there's another level that's got that kind of gray color tone to it. But it's much harder. Moving platform. Not how physics works. See, it would just be the ultimate fuck you if I came to the top of this and there were bullets. Come on. Oh, crud. Yeah! That was a needless death. That was a needless death, too. You will find that Meat Boy dies pointlessly very, very often. Yeah! I always fall for my own, I'm a victim of my own hubris. There we go. Hey, honey! So good to see you again. Hi! Oh, you got stolen. My Band-Aid is in another... Oh! No! No! Stop! Oh, no! Oh, no! Just kill me. Thank you. So who's excited for the Nintendo Switch? Days away from its initial release. Oh, up, 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 up! Sad face? You know, I've heard a lot of reactions to the Switch, but a sad face is not one of them. Oh, you're going to be waiting a long time for that one. Oh! Yeah, I can relate to that. I don't exactly have a large revenue stream to play, to buy new consoles. Plus, the thing is sold out everywhere. It's like the Wii all over again. I walked right into that one. That's amazing. Physically hurt people. Yes, give in to your anger, my apprentice. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, really? That's what I have to do here, huh? Yeah, I don't know what it is. It seems like at some point Nintendo got really overburdened trying to support too many devices at once, and oh, really? I got to the boss already? Aw, man. Aw, man. Ready for the most Binding of Isaac thing in the game, John? Check it out. From the very droppings of Dr. Fetus himself, it's Brownie. Super Meat Boy meets his match, and it is a boy made out of poop. Yup. Did he just get tired in the middle of that run? Oh. Blimey. There we go. Ah, that death. I'm like side by side with him, and this is just a game where all you do is fling yourself to your death over and over until eventually you fling yourself to your own salvation. And sometimes it's alongside a giant piece of poop. Oh, no you don't. Oh, no you don't, Nugget. Ha! I don't think all the tequila in the world is gonna fix this situation, man. Dr. Fetus always has, like, a remote. Alright, is the next level the one I think it is? Yeah, it is. When the game just abandons all pretense. Darn tootin' we're in hell. Hell is a very claustrophobic level. Like, there's all these tight spaces and caverns you have to squeeze through. Super Doom Boy. Oh, if only. You know, that's a game I would actually pay good money for. But like, Nintendo, right. That's where I was before I was, trying to outrun a piece of poop. I think they got really overburdened trying to support both the 3DS and their consoles. Like, the Wii U demanded certain high-level production values, but wasn't selling well in even their own country. And that's not just a Nintendo thing. That's not just the Wii U selling badly because it's a Wii U. That's the Wii U, the PlayStation 4, all the game consoles. Well, that was a streak of luck that couldn't last. Like, all home video game consoles have kind of lagged in sales behind handhelds. And I couldn't begin to tell you why that is. But I think a significant part of it is cultural, where Japanese gamers tend to be on the go a lot more often. Like, it's kind of a United States suburban thing to go back to your home and maybe North America in general, and not just the US. And Europe. You know what? I'm kind of overgeneralizing here, but like, basically in Japan, apartments and homes are a lot tinier and you don't tend to spend a lot of time in them. In a lot of ways, that's very similar to, like, living in New York or living in San Francisco, where there's so much neat stuff out in the city. So why would you spend all that time at home? And of course people do. but as a consequence, there's a lot more value placed on handheld and mobile games. And of course, at this point, handheld and mobile games have hit a certain threshold. They haven't really, like, caught up with consoles in terms of sheer pop and production values, but they're at a point where they're reasonably presentable. And where the diminishing returns are such that, like, if you're a game developer, you can kind of look at that and say, yes, this is enough money for me to spend. I'm not actually going to get more people playing the game if I spend more money. That's kind of where a lot of game developers ended up landing during the 7th generation, over in Japan especially. Like, the PlayStation Vita and the PSP and the 3DS picked up a lot of support. Oh, I should have known better. Whereas the PlayStation 3 struggled a lot. And, like, you notice this if you're looking at franchises like Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts. 7th generation came and went. Like, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 with no Kingdom Hearts games. And one Final Fantasy game. I'm getting so distracted talking here that I'm doing so poorly with this. But they released all of those on the handhelds. They released, yeah, like Gravity Rush, that's another one, where they didn't bother releasing it on console until... Oh, right, if you want to count the sequels to 13 that nobody asked for. Right. If you want to acknowledge the existence of Lightning Returns, then there were 3 Final Fantasy games on PlayStation 3. (13-2) is even good. But, you know, those weren't so much different Final Fantasy games as they were attempts to recoup on an investment. Like, it's a lot of recycling going on. But meanwhile, Gravity Rush came out on Vita, didn't come out on consoles until PlayStation 4, when someone over in business development finally realized that Westerners were buying more consoles than they were handhelds. And we're like, oh, people are actually interested in playing this, it's just nobody owns a Vita. Gravity Rush 2 looked pretty good. So, like, this problem hits Nintendo, and what do? They make 2 different versions of Smash Brothers. You know, 2 different versions of Hyrule Warriors. They're under burden to foster 2 teams making so many copies of the same project in order to make sure that both audiences get to experience these games. As a consequence, they were hard to implement in the PS3? I don't know that that's true. Like, hardware dictates a lot of low-level types of problems. The biggest bottleneck you've got is memory management. And the PlayStation 3, to be fair, does have a really screwy memory management scheme, where it's got the main processor and then all the sub-processors that are kind of passing memory around, and then it only has like 512 megs of RAM. 512 total. Between VRAM and RAM. So really, it's got an even narrower bottleneck than the Vita does, in a lot of ways. So you could be right. But mechanics are... Oh, I can believe that, yeah. But, like, mechanics don't necessarily need to be hardware exclusive. At that point, you're dealing with... At the point where you're doing gameplay programming, you're looking at very high-level kind of programming problems. The low-level stuff has to do with more the core graphics programming. You know, sometimes like save data management. Even that isn't a very, like, low-level kind of problem. Gyroscopic motion. Oh, is that it? So now the thing is, the PlayStation 3 had, if nothing else, even the early version of it, had the 6-axis. They could have totally done it. Yeah. Like, the 6-axis is built into everything now. What would have been a bigger challenge is if it used the touchscreen. Or if it used that back of the device touchscreen. No, for a while they were trying to sub it where the... Instead of having rumble, it was going to have gyro. As a matter of fact, Adam, that's how I play Rise of the Tomb Raider with the Steam controller. If that's what, if Gravity Rush feels like that, then that's legit. I can understand, though. Sometimes a game just feels like it was made exactly for that device. And, you know, pretty reasonably certain that Gravity Rush was designed from the ground up to be a Vita game. Alright, let's check up on Star Wars here, because this is way off topic at this point. Ah! Exiting to the map. Have you done any work with Havoc, by any chance? Because I haven't gotten to myself. All of the projects I've worked on, if there's been physics, it's been NVIDIA's PhysX engine. Which is kind of bundled by default with Unity and Unreal 4, and Unreal 3, in fact. But it seems like a lot more commercial applications would use Havoc. So have you got any experiences to compare with physics relative to Havoc? Ooh, the soft body physics, huh? Oh dear. It's gonna be that kind of level then. We're in the glitch world. Oh, this is exactly how I wanted my day to go. Okay. Meat Boy is so much more slippery in the glitch world. Yeah, that's another wonderful thing about this game, is they've got so many secret levels and things. Yeah, the problem being that the glitch world is unforgiving with lives. You get 3 shots at it, and then moving to the glitch world is not always a certainty. Oh, okay. It's like trying to catch the legendary dogs in Pokemon. See, I don't remember if it's just 1 level or if it's a progression of 3 levels. Oh! Crud. Take a look at my progress here. Hey, finally. Can get this back on track with a Star Wars related game. Okay. Looks like we can do Star Wars now. Pretty sure. So... oh, it's got to configure the Visual C++ redisks again. Beg your pardon for this whole thing getting off on kind of a bad foot. But 1080, let's bring it to 720. 360 controller, please. Play button. Oh yes, I'm in the 7th generation now, so it'll make me view a logo before I can do anything. Come on. Come on. Speaking of Havoc physics here... Okay, options. Man, this is a chintzy menu. Oh, wow. Yeah, these are the only video options there are. So let's Alt-Tab. Configure the stream. Change it over. Nope, nope. Okay. Quit that. Okay, I have started up the stream once again. We finally have an actual Star Wars game. Terribly sorry about all the technical difficulties so far. And I'm having even more as I try to meddle with the configuration tool here. Configure this bad boy. Here we go. Hey, it's Isaac. Okay. Beg your pardon, had to get this thing set up. This is another one of those port type of games that doesn't always play nicely with trying to configure external systems. Oh, this has all the DLC. How's it going, Isaac? Thanks very much for following, and thanks for jumping into the stream. Difficult combat against it. You know what? A big problem with this game is that higher difficulty doesn't make it a better game. So I'm just going to do normal. At last! Actual Star Wars! Took me long enough, didn't it? I think everybody who tries to stream eventually... I think everybody who tries to stream has at least one stream go like this, you know? Like, I'm not that upset at myself, but... Yeah, like... What good does it do to make all of the boss fights take so many more hits in order to finish them? Like, the boss fights are the worst thing in this game. You know, the opening crawl seems so much shorter when you're looking at it in widescreen. You know what I mean? Like, it feels so small. It was always just like 3 sentences. Like every movie, it's like 3 sentences. But in widescreen, it feels so tiny. So originally, this was all going to be about Knights of the Old Republic. But since Knights of the Old Republic does not stream very well at all, we are doing The Force Unleashed, which has the best opening of any Star Wars game ever. Check it. Check it, folks. The boss man himself. We open on the Grim Reaper of the Star Wars universe, stepping onto a battlefield.
We were ambushed upon arrival, but I have the situation well in...
I have no interest in your failures, Commander. I am here on a mission of my own.
Weird crotch decoration. Yeah. The Grim Reaper of the Star Wars universe in playable form. They could not have made a better decision in their first level. They couldn't have. And of course, like a true boss, he does not run, he walks. I love doing the Mortal Kombat Airmac fatalities here. Why would I do that? Are you kidding? He's the best day manager. He wouldn't kill his own troops. He's always been loyal to the 501st. He'd kill his own officers, but not his own troops. I mean, what kind of sick, perverted bastard would make Darth Vader... Oh, there he went. I mean, come on. Like, look at them. They're so stalwart and so... Oh, you just broke your neck. And faithful and robust and, dead. Yeah, this game doesn't really have a concept of friendly fire. So this is completely out of character for Darth Vader already, but you know what? It's a video game. Who cares? You didn't pick up The Force Unleashed to be totally leashed. Crush a few Wookiees. Oh, that's right. He doesn't get lightning. He gets the grip. He gets the chokehold. So something that is something that a lot of people don't realize is that in video games like this, very often the first level is actually the last one completed. And I'm not privy to any particular behind-the-scenes details about this game, but given all of the stuff happening in the background, the fairly lavish production values, and the amount of polish necessary to create a whole second playable character just for this level, I would be willing to guess that this level got made after all the rest of the game. The Force goes for walkies. Well, I'm on a planet filled with dog people, so, you know, it's appropriate. Ricochet him against a tree so hard that it just collapses. But another thing that makes me think that about this game is that this level is very well paced for the fact that you can't run. It is very, very carefully built, in spite of the fact that it goes completely against the normal pacing for the game. Oh, yeah. This was my favorite back in the day. That destruction, that works so beautifully. And this is all crap that we wanted to have playable when we saw Episode 3, you know? Because they do have some pretty kick-ass scenes where they, like, show off force powers like this. And it almost begs for there to be a video game where you do nothing but go crazy with force powers. And lo and behold, here's that game. It's a very, very timely product. Napping on the job, are we? Sleep forever. I was going to try and do an awesome move where I whapped him with a stormtrooper, but it didn't work. It's not exactly a high accuracy game. Like, it's relatively difficult to target anything with any amount of precision. Would have been cool to see that in Episode 3. Well, you did see it. It's just not Darth Vader who's doing it. It's Palpatine and Yoda who get to do all the cool stuff. And then all Anakin and Obi-Wan do is twirl lightsabers around a lot. Like, I don't get it. I don't get what would have been so difficult about having Anakin do some kind of cool feat with the Force. Like, we spend a lot of time talking about how powerful he is. But that's the kind of thing you have to do to actually show it. And I know that that's a really, like, superficial idea of what is powerful. And power can come in various metaphorical ways. But it's Darth Vader. It's Star Wars. Shit ain't subtle. He's the chosen. I don't buy it. I think Rey is actually the chosen one. I think that Anakin was talented, but a fluke. Oh crap! Did it just crash? Oh god! Darth Vader heard me dissing him and crashed. Oh wow. Well. The one who will bring balance to the gameplay. You were the chosen one! You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them. Bring balance to the video game, not crash it completely. Let's try that again. And hope it doesn't decide to repeat that too often. This may not be the most stable game ever made. You know, I'd heard good things about Ultimate Sith Edition, but this is what I'm talking about when I say kinesthetics. One button, 2 button, 3 button. I hit the button, and he attacks. It's a point of preference more than it is any kind of absolute, but it happens to be the way that I prefer to lean. So am I nuts? Or are these Wookiees humongous? Like, this one towers over Vader. I could do without the kill cam, to be honest. It was a neat idea, but I'm not sure it's as good as the kill cam from DMC. Like, that's the thing. This game has a lot of really cool ideas that are kind of halfway developed. I feel like it's spread itself too thin. Like, between all of the Havoc physics, the, what is it called? The physics AI system, where these guys will, like, try to grab onto objects and try to grab a hold of each other if they're being pulled around. I bet this guy will grab a hold of... Like, the behavior is impressive, but I wonder if it wouldn't have just been better if they had kind of tightened up the overall product instead of trying to fit all of these systems into one project. On the other hand, seeing all of this stuff react to your telekinesis like this, like watching the bridges bob up and down, that's what you're here to see. We would be honored if you would join us. Nothing overwhelming about... The facetiousness is strong with this one. Oh, I love how you can charge up in the air. Like, some of the visuals on this need a little more polish. Like, when he does this slam, it feels a little insubstantial. Farm some achievements. Yeah. Achievement farming is a thing. Kill 500 people with lights. Really? That's an achievement? You know, I guess you kill enough hordes of people that that's plausible, come to think of it. This is the stuff the game does really well. Remastered version? I could go for that. I could go for working on a remastered version of this, actually. I really enjoy working on action-based mechanics and things that kind of... Oh, here we go. Here we go. I could kind of work on... I really enjoy working on things that bridge animation and interaction, is what I'm trying to say. I worked on the battle system for Adventure Time Puzzle Quest, and I worked on... Okay. And I did some work on an action-adventure called Cryamore, or I should say action RPG called Cryamore, where I did work on the weapon combo system and things like that. And, like, animation events and combo systems and stuff like that, that's what I live for. Okay, realistically, dude, you're dead. Dark Forces, actually, Razor, I had an idea for what you could do for a successful Dark Forces reboot. You want to do Dark Souls, but with Star Wars. That's how you want to do Dark Forces. That's how you get the level design, right? Because Dark Forces level design has always been about obstacles in the environment and precarious locations just as much as... Oh, and here comes the TIE Fighter. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about when I say the boss fights are unpolished. You can't see that crap. The tree cover, right? But anyway, Dark Forces and Jedi Knight, and even Jedi Outcast. Yeah, what Adam's saying, Thug Nooks. The Dark Forces games totally revolve around Dark Souls-style level design, but just really want for the gameplay to be refined to that point. And that would be like a Dark Souls game that depends a lot on... You missed, Jedi. That would be a Dark Souls game that depends a lot on guns. But you could totally do that. You could totally mix in some third-person shooter kind of elements with it and keep the core gameplay mostly the same. And, like, add a whole lot of new options for melee, even. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? There we go. Star Wars, the QuickTime Event Unleashed. That even surprised me, Adam, because that game hasn't aged very well at all. Like...
Sent someone far more powerful nearby. Where is your master?
The dark side has clouded your mind. You killed my master years ago.
Then now you will share his fate. A son.
Run!
So Rey is implausible, but this kid is totally legit. Yeah, right.
Lord Vader.
Come with me. More will be here soon. You were weak when I found you. Now your hatred has become your strength. At last, the dark side is your ally. Rise, my apprentice.
What is your will, my master?
You shall be known as Darth Sue.
It's time to face your first true test.
Your spies have located a Jedi?
Yes, Master Rom KOTOR. He is attacking a critical Imperial shipyard. Destroy him and bring me his lightsaber.
I shall leave at once, master.
Bring me his
Emperor
lightsaber.
will not discover you. Leave no witnesses. Kill everyone aboard, Imperials and KOTOR's men alike.
As you wish, my master.
You know, that's kind of true of Dark Forces 2 as well.
Ah, Master! Another excellent duel!
Proxy, you did catch me by surprise. I haven't fought that training program in years. I thought you'd erased it.
I'd hoped that using an older training module would catch you off guard and allow me to finally kill you. I'm sorry I failed you again.
Well, I'm sure you'll keep trying. Hey, do me a favor. Don't ambush me anytime.
Proxy. Yes, why are we whispering?
Shh, who's that?
Ah, yes. Your new pilot has finally arrived, Master. Accessing Imperial
Matt.
records.
Captain Juno Eclipse, born on Corilag, where she became the youngest student ever.
Man,
at the Imperial Academy.
I'd take a remaster of this just for the eyes to change.
Commanding officer during the
Something's
Palace.
off.
Handpicked by Lord Vader to lead his Black 5 squadron, but later reassigned to a top secret mission. Is there a psychological profile in there too?
Actually, yes. But it's restricted. Oh, Master, I can tell you she's going to be impossible to reprogram.
Reprogram.
Yes. My orders are clear. And keep your ship running and fly you wherever your missions require.
Did Vader tell you that he killed our...
Yes, the teeth,
No.
but also the eyes.
But I
The
can
eyes literally look like they're
give
rotting.
Vader good reason to do so. I will not.
I mean, in general, this art could stand an update.
Done on my ship.
In some ways, it was really good for the time. In some ways, this is really wanting for the level of visuals that the PlayStation 4 has brought about, you know? Like,
where I'm going. No, I need to jump
this
in
is a
and
game that
handle
predates
that.
Substance, if I'm not mistaken.
Of course.
Maybe I am mistaken. Maybe they had Substance. I don't remember. But pretty doubtful. Substance really only took off towards the end of the 7th generation, I think. I don't remember if they improved this between The Force Unleashed 1 and 2. Oh, and it's going to give me a tutorial after already having a tutorial level. Yes, I understand how that works. Thank you. Can I skip the tutorial? Oh god, it's going to make me... I hate this reverse grip thing he does with the lightsaber. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. But Dark Forces, yeah, that would be... That would be a game really, really ripe for some kind of a reboot. Thank you. Thank you for that tutorial. Although even the first Dark Forces has aged really, really well. Something else I'd bring up, Razor.
According to Imperial records, Master Rom KOTOR was a respected general in the Clone Wars.
You're hunting Jedi.
I bring Darth Vader's enemies to
That frame.
justice. No, sir.
That frame makes her look like a chipmunk.
Genius, but felt that clone soldiers
Him too.
for battle.
I feel like he should be storing nuts in his cheek.
So there were no clones in his squad when Order 66 was issued.
And after Order 66, he vanished. Official Imperial records actually claim he's dead.
Why come out of hiding and attack the Empire now?
He wants to be found.
Then we're walking into a trap. How many pilots have you lost before me?
They aren't the worst mouth animations.
Coordinates for Nar Shaddaa.
They're reasonably good.
Prepare for light.
But I think the face models are a little too low res.
Command center and get that hologram projector up and running.
Yes, sir.
Tell all squads to
And the
fan out
face
and tunnel
textures are
around
definitely
mission
too low
process.
resolution.
Explosive charges.
I mean, this was the peak of what they could achieve at the time, but
He's here.
it's just a little bit too far ahead of its time, you know?
You out of hiding. Lower the
Hey,
containment
Dougie.
field on hangar 12
Hello,
and tell
Dougie.
the men to get into position.
Or are you wondering who I'm talking to, pup? Are you wondering who I'm talking to? My dog Douglas Adams has come down to say hello. Yeah, that's a good boy.
The onboard scanners should be able to track your movements, and I will provide whatever intelligence support I can via your comlink. Captain Eclipse out.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Okay, how does he dash? Yes, that's how he dashes. And that's how he locks on. My very own R2 unit. Actually, I think this might be an R3. Oops. Uh-oh! Did I do that? I didn't mean to seriously damage the infrastructure of this expensive Imperial shipyard. Okay, there's a collectible up here. How do I get it again? It's been a while. I feel like there's some kind of a high jump technique that I forgot how to do. Or else I'm supposed to perch on one of these. No! Come on, rotate. Rotatey! A phrase I like to use for issues like that, Adam, is that some elements occasionally seem like they needed a little more time in the oven. Oh, there isn't anything up here. I could have sworn there was like a holocron. Maybe that's a different part of the ship. They've got these things hidden everywhere. So, what the heck is going on over here? Something is just going crazy in the physics engine. Come on. Oh, that targeting. Do. Whoop! Enter Sith Bowling. Essentially, the point of this game is that you have a limited amount of energy you can expend at any given time, and you just want to do the most possible damage with it. Oh, that feels good. I'd forgotten how good that feels. So, one thing I would bring up about the Jedi Academy, Jedi Outcast type games, Razor, as I was playing For Honor, it actually reminded me a lot of those games. Like, in a lot of ways, Jedi Outcast's multiplayer was... Oh, no problem, Isaac. Have a good day. If I don't see you later... May the Force be with you. Oh, for Pete's sake, how many of you are there? But they have that same kind of dynamic where if you turned off the force powers and you turned off the guns and everything, Outcast and Academy played a lot like a prototype version of For Honor without the lock-on system or most of the defensive maneuvers, where people are kind of trying to judge each other's moves and actions and whatnot. And yeah, I'm not trying too hard at getting a high score or anything in this level because, to be perfectly blunt, the abilities that you have to start off with are not remotely complete. Like, I can only do so much damage at a time because I don't have the chargeable powers or anything. And this is a mistake that they made. They give you, like, mid-level... In the demo, they gave you, like, mid-level force powers, and here they start you with jack all. Also, here's another kind of albatross around the game's neck. The platforming does not have a lot of precision. Like, gravity is super heavy, and you don't have a lot of control over how you fall. Come on. Oh, for Pete's sake. Yeah, I forgot I could grab the bomber. Okay, maybe slashing a bundle of munitions was not an especially smart move. Come on. I want that holocron. I want it! Okay, walk to the tip of this carefully. And jump! There we go. You have some air control, right? Like, clearly I've got air control, but not especially when I'm falling. Mostly when I'm rising. So it feels really slippery when you're in the air. This is what we call a gateway puzzle. You basically have to kill all the enemies before you can realistically do that puzzle. And that's what it's there to do. It's there to force you to kill the enemies without having a gate that slams shut and opens up when the encounter starts and ends. Yes, yes you have. Phew! Phew! Ah, excuse me. Like, this is so cool, right? The way they scream and twirl and shout and struggle. This is what makes this system satisfying. Oh! Well, that's an interesting moment to bring up the level up tutorial. Force upgrades. Right. I'll try and keep that in mind. Did they keep this system in The Force Unleashed 2, or did they change it? I kind of forget. Okay, press and hold to charge. Yes, please. Fortitude. Force affinity. What does that mean? Speed that I recover. Maximum force energy. Battle meditation. What? But wasn't that already force affinity? Whatever. To charge my... Oh, I get it, I get it. That's for chargeable force abilities. That's what that is. Sith Xian. Okay, so this is where people get the idea that that Starkiller uses Xian and not something else. I get it. What else have I got? Lightning Grenade. Man, I wish. Saber Sling. That's right. That's one of the ones I like to use a lot. And this last one... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, golfing for stormtroopers. And now I can charge my abilities, but I can't aim them. That's another thing that they could stand to tighten up, is that maybe it's not a good idea to have Force Push do anything other than push where you're facing. So, like, this is what I'm talking about when I say the first level with Vader is probably the last one they did. Like, compare that and how well they used the space versus all of the empty space in this. This is just filled with empty space. Pete's sake, come on. Who takes cover behind an explosive barrel? Ugh, now I gotta wait to recharge. Oh, I'm missing the dash push combo. I don't know if it's just me, but like the boxy layout of these environments kind of makes it feel... Yeah, that's amazing hit detection there. Kind of makes the game feel like it adds to the incomplete feel of it. Where I'm just looking at a big square kind of space. This isn't out of character for Star Wars, is the thing. And like, you look off in the distance and you see the conveyor belts of TIE fighters, and that took a not insubstantial amount of work, but then the areas and locations that you're interacting with here are really sparse. Did he just say pants in the air? These are some of the best moments when you're, like, navigating through a hail of gunfire. Like, there's some part of me that flashes back to Zone of the Enders a little bit. I feel like if I could get a really decent lock-on mechanic and still do, like, the air dashes and stuff. Oops, I wasn't supposed to go in the elevator. You know, that's perfectly true. It is completely plausible that at one point they had really, really decorative environments with lots of stuff in them, but then had to cut it because the performance died, or because the physics didn't play nice with, like, and that's not just a matter of technical limitations. That is necessarily a fun factor issue as much as anything, where it could have just as easily... The physics themselves could have just as easily not worked that well with rooms that aren't kind of simple. And we're gonna get a mini-boss soon. Well, that was squandered. The lightsaber always feels a little too short. Like, this doesn't feel as good as the dashes. And I lose a lot of control doing it. Like, here I can kind of zigzag all over the place, but if I do the lock-on like this, I kind of lose a lot of the maneuverability. I can side strafe, or I can dash towards them. And it's not too bad. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that they improved a lot in The Force Unleashed 2. In giving Starkiller 2 lightsabers. It definitely felt better with 2 lightsabers. Oh my god, how are you alive? There we go. Could have benefited from a platinum. I think they were trying for that, but this was, like, way before platinum became a thing. So it's hard to say platinum level, like Capcom level would have been the thing at the time. And even then, like, Devil May Cry has some awkward bits about the way its control scheme works sometimes. But by the time the remnants of Capcom's Clover Studio came around to making platinum games and doing, like, Bayonetta, yeah, they really refined this to a mirror sheen. You kind of hope for Disney to farm out a Star Wars game to platinum. The new Nier game looks awesome. Oh my gosh. And then you get these close combat guys who can block lightsabers, and that's just bullshit. Like, I could buy it if it were... I could buy it if it were that stormtrooper from The Force Awakens. That's very true, Adam. Even in Devil May Cry 1. And another thing that Devil May Cry 1 through 3 kind of has going for it is that... And 4. I keep forgetting about 4. Another thing they have going for it is that the camera is a lot more conducive to what they're doing. Like here, I'm actually fighting against the camera to play this, and there's always people shooting at me from off-screen. So it's always a little bit of a struggle to get the hang of this game. Damage increased. I have a lightsaber, and I need to increase my damage? Come on. Oh! Oh, it ain't gonna end like that, child. It ain't gonna go that way. Hang on a sec. Okay. Okay. I think you need to take a little trip. You too. More deeps. You know what? In however many years since this game has been released, it is only just now dawning on me that that is a TIE fighter's cockpit. Like, sometimes the lighting is not very kind to this game. Raise the laser gate! Oh no, he's using the laser gate! You didn't tell me you put the generator in the same room, you fool! Yeah, I thought it was kind of like some droid overseer or something like that. I didn't think it was a TIE fighter cockpit. It makes more sense. So one thing that is really, really good about this game is that there is, except for these guys, there is an actual, like, rock, paper, scissors relationship between all of these different abilities that Starkiller gets. You can't enjoy all of them right now because it's the early game and it doesn't really want to... It doesn't want to give you everything right off the bat, but... Like, my lightsaber is not so effective against these guys, but Force Push works wonders against them. Yeah, but you know what? That's kind of what you want a lightsaber to do. You don't want it to feel like you're batting them with a club. You want it to feel like you're slicing through their soft, fleshy bodies with a frickin' laser sword. Oh, come on. Ah, for Pete's sake. Like, I didn't find that problematic at all. I felt like that was a feature rather than a bug. But anyway, one thing this game does have over the Jedi Knight games, I think, is that there is some... There is some thought put into the relationship between the lightsaber and lightning and grip. And force push. Like, each one of these has a very specific purpose. I can't say that about a lot of the powers in the Dark Forces games. This is an enemy that I don't like. Shadow Warrior? I know that one. That's kind of, that's kind of got a general old school feel to it, though. Yeah, like hell if I'm gonna fight that thing head on. It can use telekinesis, it can do all kinds of stupid things. And now we ride the elevator up slowly. Why don't I level up while I'm doing this? I'm gonna have to step away for a little bit because dinner is coming on soon, but I will be back shortly after that. Probably have enough time to finish, like, this level or something. We all know where this has to go. Oh, I can't do lightning. Okay. What I need to do is... Nope. Here we go. This is the one. Yes, absolutely this one. Any other combos? And they did a really, really neat thing with how they had all these abilities branch. Not such a neat thing with how many dead ends you run into early game trying to upgrade. Here we go. Fewer interactive urinals. Yeah. Yeah, Duke Nukem certainly had its specific goals. There are endless discussions about what exactly went wrong in Duke Nukem Forever. I'm way past Duke Nukem Forever at this point. An officer. Oh. Oh, you and your little pistol, you feel like such a big man with those equestrian boots, huh? That's a heck of a way to die. Dang it! And that's another thing. Like, the grip, especially when you're throwing objects, isn't always completely reliable. Like, look at that! How did you survive that? Ah! Dang it. Here we go. Okay, I'm actually going to need to stop the stream. It's dinner time already. So, I will be back in a little while. And we will, we'll pick up this whole, we'll pick up this discussion while we're at it. It'll be a good time to talk about, old school first-person shooters. So, I will be back in a little while. Thank you guys, those of you who have joined me and stuck around through all of the technical problems. very, very pleased to have you all on board.